everybody, welcome and welcome back. My name is Kimiko Sumi, and today I am here to do a video about what it is like for me when I used to have social anxiety and the coping mechanisms, the coping skills that I would have to cope with that mental illness back in the day. And I also want to talk about how I overcame it, completely as the years, not really the years, I actually got rid of it in 1 year, but I'm gonna go ahead and discuss it. So basically, one of because I know it's a lot of people out here, they have social anxiety now, and it's very challenging. I know that I remember when I first got social anxiety at 17 years old, I didn't know what was going on with me. I didn't really know about the mental health community. And that was something new to me. I didn't know. I just knew that I would go to work. I was a telemarketer at 17 years old, an appointment setter to be exact. And I know every time I would go to work, I would be anxious, scared. I would start perspiring. I would be really nervous and, on edge all the time. I couldn't have people randomly get up and, different things like that. I had to tolerate that, but I couldn't take it. Like, that would actually send me into what is it called? A panic attack. I would usually have a panic attack several times a day, every day. So I know exactly how that is for a lot of people now, because back when I first started having social anxiety, at least I didn't know of anybody else who had that disorder. And like I said, I didn't know I had social anxiety when I first got it around 17 years old. And actually I did self-diagnose myself, although I started going to a mental health clinic at 18, and nobody officially diagnosed me with having social anxiety disorder, but I knew that. And I also had agoraphobia at one point too, where I would not leave my room. I would not leave the house. I was scared to leave the house at all, period, because I was ashamed. I was fearful. I thought people could, see what I was thinking or were judging me. You know what I'm saying? So I understand people's pain. But a couple of tips, just in the meanwhile, in your recovery, anybody's recovery, anybody who watches this video, and, if you have social anxiety or you might have a family member who has it, maybe you could tell, your family member, or you could learn this yourself. Now, one of my coping mechanisms was basically shopping early in the morning. When I would have to go to the grocery store, I would usually shop very early in the morning when it first opened up. And I usually have to take the bus, but I was able to get a lot of groceries very early in the morning, even though I was taking the bus, because I'm pretty strong, y'all. I'm pretty strong. So I was able to carry a lot of bags with me on the bus, and I would do it very early in the morning. And it wasn't as stressful as, I would still have panic attacks, like even early in the morning. And actually I remember one time when I had a panic attack early in the morning, when I had walked to Walmart, and the cashier, she was looking at me like, whoa, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, she was looking at me like, wow, you really having a meltdown right in front of me. But that was very often. Even at self-checkout, I would get very anxious. I would clam up. I would think that everybody was looking at me. I would break out in a sweat. And then sometimes people would feel so bad for me that they would actually pay for my groceries for me so I could go ahead and leave the store. And I appreciate that for them. But yeah, early in the morning, you might benefit from going shopping early in the morning. And also, maybe if you go shopping early in the morning and just buy a couple of things at one time, if possible. Okay. Now, also, another thing too, just use relaxation techniques. Like maybe you could go get a massage if you're comfortable enough for people to do that. Maybe you can, definitely get on medication. That's actually first. Get on some type of medication that helps you with anxiety. I'm thinking about what medication would might help with that. I know one medication, but they have anxiety medication for people who have social anxiety, and I'm sure it has improved even more so now. But also, like maybe you should go to a therapist along with getting going to see a psychiatric doctor. Maybe you should go see a therapist or a psychologist so you can understand maybe why you are anxious or intimidated by people, or or you're afraid of people, and you have a social phobia. Maybe you could, talk to somebody about that and get to the real heart and depth of why you are so nervous or uneasy around people like I was. I know there are like other things you could do. You could like getting up early, extra early, that'd be your best bet. And having a routine, keeping yourself organized, keeping yourself, what is it called? Just checking off a list every day to a routine that that for the most part you can stick to. Okay. I know it's very hard. Like, you might think everybody is judging you. Your head could be spinning. You probably won't really be able to, like, things could get blurry too. I remember that things would get blurry. I would feel like I wanted to faint. It was hard. It was very hard. But you know what? Actually, what helped me the most, and what cured my social anxiety altogether, y'all, was when I was like kind of like fight or flight, because I know a lot of people know about that, and I'm pretty sure you know about that fight or flight. Like you actually try to fight through it, like the best way you can with the limited coping skills that you have to avoid, embarrassment from social anxiety or the uncomfortableness, the uncomfortable feeling from it. Okay. So you either fight or flight or flight. Me pretty much, since I knew I couldn't actually fight back and fight through it, I literally boarded a plane and went to LA because I already wanted to live there anyway. And I was pretty fed up with my living situation, but I literally started to practice my faith even stronger. And I started to watch motivational videos before I left to go to Los Angeles. I even started listening to tarot videos to help me, reassure me that I was doing the right thing. And then I also started to listen to my intuition as well. And it just got too crucial. Like, it was at a point where I didn't have really an option but to flight and actually take a flight from Dallas Love Field to Los Angeles, California, LAX. And from there, I realized that I didn't have my mother to drive me places. I didn't have my mother to shop for me. I didn't have the luxury of having my mother as my crutch or to be the person that I could fall back on. You know what I'm saying? I had myself that I could only, guide me through and take care of me along with my faith in Nichiren Buddhism. And I'm not trying to suggest my faith to you. Honestly, if you want to look into Nichiren Buddhism, that would be great too. But, if, whatever faith that you have, also that pray to, go to your higher power, no matter who they are. I don't particularly believe in other religions except for Nichiren Buddhism, but that's on you. Do whatever you can that's like healthy for you, that will help you cope in a healthy way, and prayer is one of them. But also Like, I had to literally get out there and go to the grocery store for myself. I had to find my own place to live. I had to do everything for myself, okay? So basically, I had no choice but to interact with people when I really didn't want to. I had to literally get everything on my own. And I noticed that it didn't take long. It took probably a year before I lost social anxiety. And now I did gain schizophrenia. That is something that I did switch out for social anxiety. I traded social anxiety and a social phobia for schizophrenia, paranoid schizophrenia. But I know how like debilitating social anxiety can be, and I wouldn't wish that on my enemy. Honestly, I really wouldn't. That's a horrific like diagnosis to have. That's a horrific disorder, especially if it's matched with agoraphobia. That's hard. I know that's hard. That's actually is worse than schizophrenia, in my opinion. I would accept schizophrenia any day as opposed to social anxiety, because that could actually make you feel like that. You like, I can understand the worry, the fear, the pessimism, the defeat that one might feel when they are dealing with that disorder. I understand it all too well. I suffered with that disorder from about 18 years old all the way to about 27. And you know what? I am free from not schizophrenia. I hope so. I wish. But I am free from social anxiety completely. And I am able to communicate with people effectively. I know how to communicate well with people now. I'm not afraid of people. I don't clam up anymore. I don't sweat unless I'm too hot now. I can definitely go to the grocery store on my own now. I have my own issues as to why, other issues as to why I don't really too much go outside the house like that. But it's not because I'm afraid of people per se. It's not exactly that I have social anxiety or agoraphobia at all. Now, I do have my other reasons, but I would rather like keep that to myself. But because it's just a lot of trouble outside. It's just a lot of trouble out there, and it has like I said, it has nothing to do with social anxiety. And I have gang stalkers, so But so I just kind of keep myself, to myself and mind my business for the most part. But I understand what it's like to have social anxiety. And, like I said, social anxiety is harder, in my opinion, to cope with as opposed to schizophrenia. Now, I don't want paranoid schizophrenia. I don't like having paranoid schizophrenia. But this is something that is a part of my life now. But I understand your pain, and I understand the mental health community's pain. And I understand a lot of other people's pains and shoes. I've been in so many different people's shoes, y'all. And I understand your struggle. And it's hard for me not to feel compassion. It's really hard for me not to feel compassion because I've been in so many people's shoes. I understand. But anyway, if you have any questions, comment below. If you like this video, please hit like. Share it if you like. Hit the notification bell. And I will see you subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Okay, peace. Hope you liked it. Bye.